Are we in a rut of quality and talent within the MCU? Specifically, are the TV shows actually poo trash? We've actually had some good additions and not so great additions to the franchise Marvel fans have grown to love. But fans have also grown to rightfully criticize the product for its shortcomings. Today we'll dive into the rankings of MCU shows that have hit Disney+. We'll be going all the way back 2 years to see if Marvel Studios chose right by going in these TV-based directions for their stories. This is my own personal ranking for the projects, so if you have your own, share them in the comment section below. I'm also excluding special presentations like the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special and Werewolf by Night. Side note, both are good projects and could have been close in my top 5 if they were officially TV shows. But let's get on to my official list. Ranking near at the bottom at 9 is sadly the most recent MCU show. Secret Invasions was so darn disappointing for me. I wanted to get some of the same tone and similar plot setup that we got in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I was even open to seeing something more similar in pace with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but this show was neither of those. The show dragged on for way too long in my opinion. I was hoping for more Gravik, played by a phenomenal actor Ben Kingsley Adair, and his plotline jumped from helping his own people to having a grudge with Fury, and it was just very confusing to follow, and I think unfortunately it was a shortcoming for his talent. Fury's marriage with Vara was also pretty random, especially with so many years in the MCU. There was never a mention of a wife, there was never a mention of a ring. I just think it just felt absolutely random to have him marry a Skrull. I have my own full review of the show linked on your screen. But there was a lot of problems with the show. I just found the pacing to be the worst part of it. Character motivations was just ongoing and changing. I thought Talos' character was just kind of weak in my opinion. His character deserved much better of a finalic ending. But next on my rankings for the MCU shows is She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany crushed it as Jennifer Walters. The show was just a big mess of fillers and random stories for the week, but I understand what the show was going for. It was a very light-hearted hero's journey for Walters. I was just happy to see the return of Daredevil and Bruce Banner for the most part. The show had a strong protagonist, but I think it really lacked a strong villain or a conflict at the end of the first season. The Kevin angle was kind of odd, didn't really resonate with a majority of MCU fans. Again, performances were all decent in this MCU project, but the pacing and ever-changing tone just didn't hit home with me. I still have high hopes for her character in the future, however. She-Hulk's actually a funny character and has a lot of wit to her, and I think her dynamics with other characters should be actually charming to see. But this project just kind of fell short in my expectations. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is next on my list. This show is one that I really enjoyed from the first time watching. As I went along and as I keep rewatching a bit of the episodes, I start to see a little bit more of the shortcomings. The dynamics between Sam and Bucky was really fun, however. The real-world similarities and connections added to the overall stakes of the show. Isaac Bradley's characters being referenced was great as well, and seeing a whole new Captain America emerge was just really cool too, especially in the post-Endgame world where everyone just assumes Captain America's gone forever. The villains were a little weak in my opinion, and their motivations weren't always very clear, but the show had that good spy thriller tone, which was very appreciated. Wyatt Russell was a great villain in playing the evil Captain America, and will definitely have a lasting impact in the MCU. Just a good cast and a good TV drama on this project. While the Flag Smashers weren't the best and properly set up villains, they still provided a nice foil to the post-Endgame MCU. The ramifications of their action will most likely lead to other events happening in Captain America: Brave New World Order. I am really interested to see how the MCU builds from this show towards that project. Coming in at number 6 is Moon Knight. This is one that will bug many fans for sure. The placement isn't really a knock to the show so much as a way for improvement. The show had a good premise and Oscar Isaac crushed it in the starring role. I found that the show was a bit too slow to follow through, and I think that it spent a lot of time weeding out the main character of the show. I think we could have benefited from seeing other characters shine. I think a supporting cast really does make a difference and adds layers to a show, and I think while Moon Knight's a very good personable single origin story, I think there needs to be a little bit more in terms of characters in this project. Moon Knight was experimental like many MCU shows early on. This one was pretty experimental, exploring the mental state of an individual. The back and forth personality changes were pretty cool to see, and it gave Oscar Isaac a chance to showcase his range. Ethan Hawke did great as the main villain. I just thought that the ending was a bit too weird, and it kind of resorted to big giant CGI monsters kind of fighting with each other, and I thought the show could have been a little bit more clever when it came to the ending. But I'm not taking major points off that really. Not a bad show. I was just left wanting more from a character's perspective for everyone excluding Isaac's character. Or characters. Next on my list of MCU TV shows ranking is What If. The first season of the experimental MCU animated show was just fun and full of surprises. Doctor Strange's episode in particularly really showcases how important the show is regardless of its media format. The level of storytelling and references to MCU related events or characters was just a treat to watch. The Ultron villain arc worked beautifully, and he made for a perfect villain for the first season. The show just reveals how fragile and easily things can be changed within the MCU. Some episodes from season 1 weren't released and will make its way in future seasons, but this show is just a nice addition to Marvel's library. Number 4 on this very opinionated list of the MCU shows is Ms. Marvel. I love the tone of the show from beginning to end. There's a big difference from a show like Ms. Marvel and Secret Invasion. The latter felt like a film cut into pieces, released on a week-to-week basis. Ms. Marvel felt like a weekly adventure and discovery. The show just gave more audiences in terms of a television show. It had action, charm, wit, and heart with its main character. Iman Vellani was born to play Kamala Khan, and her performances felt genuinely heartful. Kamala's family also added much charm to the show on a weekly basis. The blend of cultures, too, made the film such an original story within a very established MCU. I look forward to seeing more of her performances in the upcoming The Marvels film in November. And the show had John Hugh vibes throughout the entire way, so bravo for this show, honestly. It was a huge surprise. Now to the final 3 projects I found most appealing so far in Marvel Studios' Disney Plus experiment. Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner are a joy to watch on screen together in Hawkeye. The friendly banter between the two was a major highlight for me. The show almost felt like a passing of the torch too for the Hawkeye character. The premise of the show also felt much lighter than in previous MCU shows, but the show was just able to draw in more eyes because of a certain returning character. Vincent D'Onofrio returning as the Kingpin was a nice surprise to the holidays. His involvement in the upcoming Echo and Daredevil Born Again show will be pretty big. While I wasn't a major fan of his arc in this show, I have high hopes Kingpin will be a bigger force than during last Christmas season. But Kate Bishop has a solid future in the MCU, and this show really showcased why. And Jeremy Renner was just trying to get back to his family, man. He was able to make it back at the very end to spend Christmas with his family, but I think Hawkeye's plot arc of trying to get home in time for Christmas was just really clever. That just paced the show very well from the very beginning because you already have an established endpoint to get to, and I think the show really benefited from that. Hey movie lovers, welcome to Real Talk Movies, your next destination for all things cinema. If you're a big film fanatic like me, smash that like button and hit subscribe. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on future discussions, in-depth reviews, and analysis on all things related to film. Now, back to the video. Now the list gets interesting, and we know what 2 shows are tying right now for number 1 and 2. But my second favorite show from the MCU so far is Wandavision. The first and most likely most experimental MCU show that aired on Disney Plus back in 2021. Elizabeth Olsen shines in the role, and her character went through such a tragic arc. The show explored grief, loss, and reminiscing of the past. Seeing the transformation of Wanda Maximoff to the Scarlet Witch was just very nice to behold. And the week-to-week Easter eggs to the possible antagonists' clues kept fans hooked. A technically returning Quicksilver played by Evan Peters was a treat as well. Kathryn Hahn shines as Agatha and earned that solo TV show in this show. The bigger connections with other characters like Sword and Monica Rambeau also kept fans hooked from week to week. Paul Bettany is always a charm playing Vision, and the family dynamics played out extremely nice. To see, Wanda having her own family and actually living out that fantasy that she always wanted. Matt Shakman won the role to direct Fantastic Four with this project, in my eyes, so you gotta respect his work as well. The costume and set designs, varying from decade to decade, aren't easy to pull off. As for Wanda, her powerful magic proved to be capable of evil as well. The Scarlet Witch lost to the Master of the Mystic Arts in Doctor Strange 2, but she will return. And coming in at number 1 on my list of MCU shows so far is Loki. The story of this show and how vital of a role it plays into the MCU wasn't something I was ready for. Taking Loki from the events of the first Avengers over a decade ago and having him do a time shortcut was just genius of a premise. Introducing Owen Wilson's Mobius in this show was also a major highlight for me. Tom Hiddleston's performances as Loki is just masterful at this point. His dynamics with Mobius and Sylvie really prove how versatile of a character he's become. Loki is able to live through some otherwise deadly events, and I like how this show tried to explain why. Sophie DiMartino as Sylvie was very cool, and her original character arc was something that just added layers to both not just her but to the character of Loki in general. Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains was another surprising plus for the show in my eyes. Majors was in serious talks to play Kang years ago, and I think that this performance in this show is why. The music by Natalie Holt was just mesmerizing and illustrates how futuristic and mysterious the TVA was. Kate Herron directed each episode with a different writer, and so I'm really interested to see how Season 2's production will play out. But again, bravo to the show, and bravo to the cast and to the crew for just coming up with this really original story that kind of set the establishment at the end of the multiverse moving forward. But this was just my list of MCU TV shows ranked from worst to best. I agree that the shows have progressively gotten a bit stodgier in quality since the original 2021 year. Disney and Marvel Studios are capable of good quality shows, and it has shown in the past. But even the executives over at Disney might agree that it's time to slow things down when it comes to the quality of MCU shows in the future. You might disagree with my list, but you might actually agree with my opinion, because I think most people agree that we've kind of gotten a little bit too much MCU in terms of TV shows. The movies releases, that might also need a little rework as well. I think we might try to avoid a lot of superhero movies coming out every year. Marvel Studios has a plethora of lore to go through, so there's never going to be a shortcoming in terms of characters. I want to hear your thoughts on my list, and I want to hear your thoughts on what is the best TV show that Marvel Studios has come out with so far. Share all those thoughts down below. Thank you for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed today's topic. If you could hit that sub button, that would be awesome. Hit that like button and boost my video up on the algorithm. Click that bell so you don't miss any of my videos that get uploaded. And if you have some time to spare, check out some of these videos on your screen right now.